Everybody, it's Teepa, and we're live here at Margaret Lane Gallery, and we're going to do an evening related to art and artwork and engagement for people living with dementia around art. And we have a hostess at Margaret Lane. I'm Teepa, and you are?
I'm Mary Knox. I'm one of the co-owners here at Margaret Lane Gallery.
And an amazing woman with a huge heart and a welcoming attitude about people living with dementia, children, people who are interested in art, and people who don't know much at all about art.
That's quite true. One of the goals we've had with the gallery is to create a place that's welcoming to everyone, regardless of who they are, and for whatever their ages as well, from children to seniors, and including people with dementia and their caregivers.
Yeah. And so what's really remarkable about this particular space is it's a brand new show that just went up, and it's about Hillsborough. And so it has a lot of old memories, but it also has information about people who are living here now, and it has connectors. So I'm going to do a for instance, because we talked a little bit about some of these things. And these things are called, Mary, these right here, this little thing is called a
word flash.
A word flash. And so it's a short flash of words. And so I'm going to read it out loud. The wrong brake launched him, and red slushy pulled the pavement. A false fear. Instead, it took years and war and friendship's crash of silence. Bikes careen down Cameron Street. Now, for those of you who don't know Hillsborough, Cameron Street is the main drag of Hillsborough. I mean, like the main drag.
Not quite. You're thinking of Churton Street.
Oh, I
Cameron
am.
is one block over.
One block over.
Yeah.
So now, here's the deal. I didn't know that. I did, but I didn't. You know, it both started with C's, but now that she said that, it was like, oh, yeah, that's right. And that's okay, because what I picked up over here, we got a great big H for Hillsborough. Now, Mary, here's my guess. I'm guessing the orange is because of Orange County.
I suspect so, though we'd have to ask Barbara. But if you want the orange to be orange for Orange County, it doesn't matter what Barbara decided. What matters is that's what you perceive. And that's one of the cool things about art.
That's right. When I'm looking at art, when I'm investigating art, we could do something like, how many orange circles do you see here? And it's like 1, 2, 3, oh my heavens, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, that one's yellow, it doesn't count. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, that one's oval. Should I count it? What do you think? Oh, that's a triangle. That's only half a circle. I don't know. But all of a sudden, it's not just about art. It's about what my brain does with the art, what my eyes and my finger do with the art, how I take this piece of information, and then suddenly I might go, oh, you know, the historical museum, I've been there. Do you know they have an old loom upstairs?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever done it? I used to weave a lot.
Oh, cool. We just had a weaving workshop here on Tuesday that I took, and I wove with a loom for the first time.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
See? And then we have all the bikes. And I didn't have a red slushie on the floor. It was me on the ground because the wrong brake of my brother hooked to the back wheel of my bike. And I went over the handlebars and lost my front teeth.
Oh.
Yeah. Not one of my best memories, but certainly the red slushy thing. I think I was the red slushy. That was in Pennsylvania. And now we have over here one of our favorite places to go eat, the Wooden Nickel. And this one is, we've got an outside scene of the Wooden Nickel. We have actually wooden nickels. Now, here's the cool part about what this group does. They actually have, it says, please take a wooden nickel. So not only is it a wooden nickel, but it has flashes of Hillsborough on it. So all this connectivity, you know, all these opportunities, things to touch, things to look at. Oh, look, some of my friends at Soltis would be excited. Have you got a beer? And sure enough, there's all kinds to look at all these little, tiny little, you know, when you open the beer, the thing on the top, talking about a beer cap. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. And up here, we were talking about a tambourine. And here we have faces made of gold and silver. And Mary was talking about she chose the gold and silver because of the song from, if you know Girl Scouts, some are silver and the others gold. That's Friends. So you have friends that are doing this kind of thing. So it's an amazing place. And you have so many of these around. And that's exciting. But I want us to take a look at the rest of your gallery.
Okay.
Because, ooh, there's good
There's
stuff.
all sorts of things. We have work from over 35 local artists. So
Wow.
it's a wide range
35
of styles
local
and
artists.
things.
And people living with dementia are welcome to come in.
Oh, of course they are.
Yeah. And they can go, oh, look at there. There's oranges. And nobody's going to go, ooh, she's touching the art.
If it was something that you weren't allowed to touch,
Yeah.
Mary, what are some strategies that you do that help people stay further back from an art piece?
A lot of times, usually, in fact, all the times when we've had a problem with that, and I wouldn't call it a problem, it's younger children. And I have a couple of stuffy things. And so I give them a couple of stuffy things that they can hold. And so they've got a tactile experience. And that has taken care of the problem.
Oh, so this is called problem solving. So what we do is we might create a small barrier here. I mean, put a table in that certain location that we see as a hot ticket item, but then have things on the table people can do.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wait, do I remember this over here? You know, we got the wooden nickels. Or maybe I would pick this up and I'd go, oh, that's a cross. I love that. And now I slip it in my pocket. I've got a feeling Mary isn't the kind of person that goes, she's shoplifting.
Get that out of there.
Because if she watched me move around the gallery, I'll bet that Mary's picking up on Teepa doesn't know what's hers and what's not hers. And so she's going to motion to my carer and the hair. And we do a back conversation that's a silent but visual conversation. And it's just, well, this is one my dad gave me. And in that moment, okay, what was the price tag? Hopefully it wasn't real high, because you know what? I may be buying it and taking it home. And that's something that my care partner might need to recognize, is that I get real attached to stuff that I like. So might be worth a pre-trip to see if there are particular things you want to be on the lookout for, and maybe look for spaces and rooms. Because I got to tell you, we got a lot of rooms to look in around here that don't have this kind of pickup item around. I mean, that's another way to deal with it.
And if it's a private appointment and you're concerned about things that are laid out to be picked up, let us know. We can always move things, put things up high, put things in a closet temporarily.
See?
That's not a problem as long as we know.
And when Mary says private appointment, it's not like she's charging people for private appointments.
No, private appointments are free. Sometimes we do bring in an artist who does an art activity who we pay, and then we charge for those. But for just a general private appointment, we do not charge.
So now, how many places where you guys are have an art gallery like this? Probably not as many as we wish. And that's one of the main reasons we think Hillsborough has potential to be an inclusive community from start to finish. So we're going to take a tour on over this way. And I'm going to go down this way. And ooh, I found something I really like.
That is a tie-dye. And one of the reasons you're really liking it is it is done with trapunto quilting. So it's been stitched and stuffed with a fill so that it has a texture, a raised yet soft. It's really
And so I would spend lots of time with this. And that might actually be a heads up for my person that's with me to go, she needs more things that she can see with her eye and feel with her hand. Because if I could get her engaged like this, that would keep her from getting into stuff that causes problems. It would give her something she really engages with. And then you might try having me trace around things, because all of a sudden now I'm really paying attention to detail and I'm moving all over this. And this is just beautiful. And rather than just sitting like this or not doing anything, I'm actively, oh dear. Oh, it's just balanced.
It's cool.
So I thought I'd done something wrong, but it was like,
You haven't.
oh,
It's
no. It's all fine.
It's all cool.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Now look over here. Now this one has determined that the best way to show this is to have a piece of glass over top. But does that mean I won't touch it? No, I'll still touch it because I want to check it out. But I'm less satisfied with it. I mean, it's a beautiful picture, but it doesn't have the same texture.
But
So
what's interesting with
yeah.
those, and
Oh,
where
that's
it's interesting to look at,
Yeah.
those are made with recycled pieces of things.
Yeah.
So it's like the watchdogs are made out of broken
Watches.
pieces.
Oh, how
so
cool
you can
is
take
that?
time looking and identifying
Oh,
what the
little
things
things
are
in
within
here.
those collages.
Yeah, so we can take it down and, we would be able
Yeah.
to take it down and we would spend time maybe, and look, how many pearls are there? Wow.
Yeah.
Silver balls. Oh, look at that. That's a little heart right there. Now over here, Mary, what does that remind you of? You might need glasses for that.
I do.
Yeah, what
It
did
makes me think of my grandfather had a little
Oh.
metal thing on his
Mhm.
dresser that had like old war medals.
Oh,
And that's what it makes me think of.
It makes
whether
you
it
think
is
of that, whether
I
or not.
have no idea.
I think it's a rotary.
Is it?
International.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're right. It's a grandfather kind of thing. And this person, I believe they must have been into tennis. Because there's
Oh,
2 tennis rackets and a little tennis ball. And here's another little tennis
never
guy
noticed
over
those.
here. Oh, and you know what that is? Do you see this thing right here? What do you think that is? Right there. Yeah,
Oh, it's an earring.
It
It's
sure
from
enough
the-
is. Oh my, it's that screw-in earring.
Yeah.
My grandma had one of those and I got it and I about killed myself because I kept doing the wrong direction. It hurts when you keep squeezing
It's
it.
not good.
It's not good. Now I have to give this to you because
Yeah.
I know I don't know how to remount it.
And I will let my husband put that back
Oh,
up.
well, see, that's a good
So
idea.
that's- Yeah.
But now over here, if we come over here, a whole new set of things to look at. I mean, come this way, guys, because we want you to look this way too. I mean, this is just like, wow. So frankly, with some of the people that I'm with, one room is all I need, or one level of the room, or one little area is all that needs to happen for me, because this is exciting. I love these colors. I love this. Oh, Enchantasia. Magic trees and art books. So we have a book that goes along with some of the amazing things that are in here.
Those are ones that go with Michi Doan, who does digital art, and her things
Okay.
are all fantasy. They're
Yeah. Wow.
just cheerful and happy.
Beautiful and really would appeal to young girls. I
Yes.
know. And some boys, but a lot of young girl stuff going on
Yeah.
in here. And then over here, we have art that's like, again, flowers, buttons, art. Oh, we have fruit of all kinds. We have a giraffe, but the color combinations draw your eye. Ooh, and here, African priestesses and princesses and musicians and ooh, so many possibilities. Wow. Oh, and then we get to this. Check this out. Oh, totally different. And so I could hold this up and go, oh, who does this remind you of?
And one of the things that's interesting about these in particular, they're all done with a single line. So you can go
Oh my heavens.
and you'll go all the
And
way
so
around.
you go all the way around and
you'll
you've
come to
never
an
lift
end.
a pen, and all of a sudden you're finding, where does it end? And so you've got this opportunity to do a tracing behind the artist to figure out how in the world did they do this without losing their place. This would not be my piece of art, but it's beautiful. But I'm like, and I would lose my place real quickly. And then we have, down here, things that are very textural.
Those are other things that if you
Yeah.
do have things that you don't want people to touch, those are nice to put in someone's hands.
Oh, so these are nice things because this has a lot of texture, a lot of color. Ooh, and it's a little bag and it has little drawstrings on it.
So a few people are asking, how do you sort of build these activities in when you enter the space? What would you do with someone when you came into a room?
So I would pre-explore the space. I'm speaking for if I were going to bring somebody, I would pre-explore. And then I would think of the person I'm bringing or the people I'm bringing. I'm thinking, okay, I know I have people from Hillsborough. Or, ooh, I know I have somebody who loves baseball or fishing. So I'm going to check out a space and say, do I see anything? Oh, I know where it is. And so I come in, and from the very entry, I come in first and I go, oh my heavens, come here. I want to show you. Look at this. And so right away, I bring them into the space and I deliver. So right away, click, there's a delivery of something I know that will click. And then they go and we look and I go, and they're looking here and I go, oh, wait, I think he hit the ball. Oh my gosh, look who this is. We got Red Sox going on. And now I pull away because now they can investigate the artwork. And they go, Boston, yeah. And then, but now down here, take a look. This is not Boston. We got Yankees down this way.
Should they be right next to each other?
Well, you know, this is Ted Williams up here. And for people who know Ted Williams, he died of ALS. In other words, you know, that was Lou Gehrig. Ted Williams, famous batter. You have to remember your different people.
Yes, it's not
I don't know baseball people.
Uh-oh,
well, but
Mary.
whoops.
Oh, I might have to come up to speed. You know, Joe DiMaggio. Oh, no, that one I know from a song. Joe DiMaggio, very famous. And over here, oh, I even know him. This is Babe Ruth. Yeah, you can't avoid him. Oh, and I love the little kid pitcher. Check it out. He's got the ball. It's all good. And then over here, we got Lou Gehrig. See, I knew Lou Gehrig would be there. He was a New York Yankee too. You know, just saying. So now I'm curious. So if I brought you in and showed you to this wall, that could be enough to fill the bucket for somebody who loves baseball. And we may look around or we may just go, that was cool. And then what's nice down here, we have some different little things, not a big picture, but little things that might be something that we could then purchase and take. And it would allow us to remember this and also maybe serve as a stimulation for us doing something with art
like,
or a picture.
Could you then go to the local coffee shop and have a drink and talk about baseball?
Oh, couldn't we though? Yeah. Or we could talk with Mary about, is it possible that we could do like an art session now that we've been a couple times and we have people who are interested? You know, we aren't great artists, but I'm wondering if they're
a great artist. That's not the point.
I wonder if we could try something. And so this is that connecting. And, you know, maybe somebody's not hooking in, but I go, oh, I don't think we're allowed to fish for these, but let me check you out, show you something. Check this out over here in this window. We got some goldfish and some little brown and white fish. I don't think you're allowed to catch them, but they're kind of cool to look at. That's quite a nice piece in the window there.
It's really cool because of the different kinds of glass in there. If you look carefully, you'll see that the glass has different textures. It's not just different colors.
No, yeah,
but it's
no,
like different textures.
You're absolutely
Here's
right.
etched glass. This is antique. The purple is an antique
old
glass,
glass.
which is really,
Oh, and these are little bubbles.
yeah.
These are little like beads of glass almost.
Can you guys talk again? We have a few people who just joined about the overstimulation piece and how you can set yourself up if people someone like you know ahead of time.
Yeah, so if we know that we have people who can get or really like to touch a lot of things, we talked about a couple of possibilities. So one is
If you're worried about people touching things that shouldn't be touched, let us know. We can move things, or we can put a table in front of it. It's like this window would be hard to move, but we can put a table in front of it so a person couldn't reach that window.
Yeah, if we were really
we're
worried.
happy to accommodate anything of that kind, as long as we know we can do that.
And you guys also have doors that could be shut.
Yeah.
And we just have this one space rather than this space and that space and that space. And we could also I created a lot of control because I came in and went to something. Mm-hmm. And I drew you to that thing, and then I drew you to the next thing, and then I drew you to this, and then I said, you know what? It's about time. You know what? It's almost time for us to go get something to drink. Let's get a set of cards and let's head out. If that's all I feel like we can handle right now, because I'm starting to see signs of, wow, or I'm getting to see signs of, oh, look over here. Look. Oh, no. Wow, that's cool. So then I have to figure out, I'm here doing this, and it's like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I mean, it's all fine. So what you could say is, Teepa, yeah, you found the cat. Yeah, there's a few more down here. You want to try another one? Well, no, I like this one. So right now I have the cat. But if we really worry about me having the cat,
now it becomes really powerful.
Then it becomes this thing. Versus then you say, oh, check out this. Now, I know you guys didn't notice that because there were a lot of other things to notice, but take a look at this. And it is artwork, but it's also craftsmanship.
It's craftsmanship. That is made out of a tree burl. Joey goes to different lumber companies and collects. These are things that didn't get turned into a board because he carves them. And those little birds inside, you can lift those out.
Oh my heavens.
They're perfect.
Look at that. This is a little fella that's hidden around down in here, and then he fits down in there, and here's the mama bird. And this is this beautiful thing. But now, here, I want to pick this one up.
And what are you going to do with those fans?
And those fans I might quietly just pick up and move to a higher location.
Oh, look over here. Look over here. Because I've totally now forgotten about the fans. I could care less about the fans because I found something else that really excited me. And this one, we got bluebirds in that same kind of phenomena. Oh, look at that. Super cool. And we have all these amazing flutes. I mean, so again, let me say, do you have a place in your community that has this opportunity? And I'm afraid it's not that common because it takes a decision to found a group, to do things beyond just have an art gallery. That's not what you guys are all about.
That's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to make a place where everyone feels welcome. And so that's what we've been working on.
Yeah, and that's why we're here, because we heard about that and we went, wow, yeah, because we're looking for these kind of places, because that's where people living with dementia and their families need to know there are places to go and things to do that, check.
Say where we are again, real quick?
Yeah.
This is cool.
We're busy.
Sorry, that's felding.
Isn't this? Oh, but look at this. This is a friend of, I got to say this, Tara, check this out. Tara she was on last time we did a Dementia at Dusk. She's from Australia, and she's currently in South America after she was here for a bit. But we've got a koala bear, and we have all the pieces and parts. And this is bushfire season, because you remember they had that awful, awful bushfire, and so many koalas got hurt. But this work is like, basically, I think, a tribute and an honor for that area of the world. Now, we are in Margaret Lane Gallery in Hillsborough. But see, this kind of idea that I can find joy and pleasure in a moment and excitement, and this place allows for that. And it's not about whether I have dementia or I don't have dementia. Because if I have visual abilities, I'm going to respond to something in this space. If I have auditory capacity, I'm going to notice some things. And that might be a way to go.
So somebody's asking, what about for people who are mobily challenged or are sort of unstable as they move through this?
Yeah, and so I know what Mary did is she brought chairs out for us, and we could sit in chairs. The entryway, we
Do have a limitation because there are steps and we are not.
we're not wheelchair accessible here at the moment.
Unfortunately.
So, it's not because wouldn't like to be, but it's an old building. And so what we have here is essentially one step, two step. And what I would say is we have a lot of people at Soltis. Yeah. And so what we can do, Mary, come on, I'm going to have you actually hold here.
Oh, I do
I
anyway
know,
because
but
I
that's
have
okay.
bad knees.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
And I'm going to put my hand here and I'm going to have you step down. There you go. And step together.
Yeah.
Okay. And then step down. There you go. And step together. And so what I would say is sometimes we think there are bigger barriers than they are. And I have someone who doesn't, can't walk long or well, but we can manage two steps up into the gallery. And we
One
could
thing
figure
to
it
note
out.
too is that
Yeah.
there are railings on both sides of the steps.
Yep.
As opposed to
Heading up, heading down. So it's a welcoming kind of place. Now, is it perfect? Sorry, we can't be perfect. But is it welcoming? Yeah. And can we figure out things to do? I mean, I've actually found people to help me lift a wheelchair up, to be honest.
How would you bring this kind of experience into someone's home?
I'd come and see Mary. Yeah. I'd say, hey,
hey,
Mary, I have a huge favor to ask of you.
we probably could do something, and there's several things that we could possibly do. One would be to collect a collection of things if we knew the kind of things that people are interested in. Collect a couple of pieces of art. There are also several artists here. Everybody here, almost everybody we have in the gallery is local. Some of those people, I suspect, would be amenable to bringing a collection of their art. And some of them have art that's more, Debbie Drew, for example, she does things like with polymer clay, metal embossings, things that are good to touch as well as look at.
So it's really this opportunity to ask a question, find out, is it possible? If we do this, would it be possible? Now, what I want to do is let other people know about it.
Okay.
Because the reality is, until we start opening possibilities up, we don't know what's possible. We don't actually know what can happen. So we have a friend coming in, or two, those belong to us.
There's art supplies on the table. We always have art supplies on the table.
Art
for
supplies
kids.
on the table.
See, smart, planning ahead.
What do you
Alright,
think,
let's
Benj?
head on in.
I bet you would like to see the art supplies on the table, knowing you. So we're going to come in the other door. Oh, yeah. And now we're in another room. Now, this idea of entering a space and, ooh, Benji, take a look over here. What do you think of these? What are these ladies doing?
Dancing.
Dancing. What kind of dancing are they doing?
I don't know.
Are they doing very fancy dancing?
Yeah.
Can you can you be in position like that? Can you hold yourself like that?
No.
No, you don't think so? I think you.
What if Nana shows you first?
Okay, let's try this. So take one hand. We're going to do this.
Mary,
let's do
see
this,
your
lady.
ballerina.
So one hand up. Oh, now my feet together with my toes up. And then put one hand up and one out. Turn around. Let's see if you can get it to happen. Turn around toward mommy because she's got the camera. Okay, this arm up. Now this arm down. And then up on your toes. Oh, you got it. Check it out, dude. Perfect.
Whoa.
Whoa. Look at this one, Benj. What's this remind you of?
California.
Yeah, what is this?
California.
It looks like California, doesn't it? Does it have a double decker?
Yeah.
Were we on a bus in California with double decker?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a good time doing that?
Yeah.
And this looks like sunset?
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool, huh? So what I'm doing with Benji is the kind of thing I might do with somebody who has some limitations, but is really curious about stuff. Now, ooh, Benji, look over that way.
Can you talk about what you just did with your voice and your body?
Ooh, Benji. Because Benji was doing something with his mom and I wanted his attention and I wanted him to focus. I went, ooh, Benji. And I made eye contact with something and then I pointed. Oh, Benji. Check this out. What do you think? What in the world is that?
A big cat.
A big cat. Feel it. Check that out.
That's some metal embossing.
That's called embossing. It's metal. Isn't that cool? Wow, and it's a cat. Ooh, look what's right down there.
A lion.
A lion.
Jaguar.
Yeah, what do you think might else be in here? Oh, what's that?
A croc.
A crocodile. And then we have some ladies and some, oh, what are those?
Kiss.
Kiss. Should I give you a kiss?
No.
No. Well, oh, well. What's that?
A road.
A road. You gonna look at the next one? Let's see. Another road. Then what? Whoa! What do you think about that? Oh, here, let me hear that. So there we went from a picture to
kiss again.
another kiss. I think I need one.
Give him a doggy kiss.
Oh, that was a perfect. Oh, what's that?
Crashing wave.
Crashing wave. So did you notice Benji's voice taking on sounds and rhythms? Oh, oh, look at that. Oh, what is
A
that?
big cat.
That's a big cat. Oh, and there's a lady in a mask. And what do you think about that guy? What are you thinking? What do you think about this fella?
Good.
It's good?
Mm-hmm.
What's a story about him? Can you think of a story about him?
No.
No, not right now? What about, let's see, let's look here, one more, let's look through. There's another big picture.
Look at this.
Oh, there's the lady. Yeah, and here's that big black cat. There's that crashing wave, and there's another guy, huh? All right, so.
Can you talk a little bit about time of day and what's different about Benji? Because you were not thinking he was going to respond the way that he did.
Yeah, so with Benji, it's late afternoon. It's almost supper time, not quite supper time. So how do you feel right before dinner when you haven't had much for a while? Just curious, Mary, how do you feel?
How do I feel?
Yeah.
I get irritable.
Oh, that hangry kind of thing? Yeah. Is your brain at its peak?
Well, it's peak if I'm thinking about food.
How about thinking about art about that time of day?
Nah, unless it's art about food.
No, it's art about food. Then all of a sudden you know what you want. And they call that a menu. They call that a picture menu. But what we did is I sort of brought him into it, and I thought he would be a lot more fascinated with the texture.
And he normally would.
And he normally would, but what he was real interested in is looking at things. And once I went to one, he started looking at the others, but he was more into looking than he was into doing, which is not the usual for Benji. Usually he's all about talking and doing and just some looking, but mostly da, 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 da. And so I wasn't getting any of that, which was really sort of surprising, but it's that time of day. So some of what we get is because of when we do what we do and what else has happened. So go ahead.
So at that time of day, there's a couple
Yeah.
people saying, yeah, for my sister, this is when she gets really mean.
Yeah, it can be a really rough time of day because she's worn out. She's not getting new charged up with her chemistry, and so are you. I mean, we can talk about the other person a lot, but the reality is we're also getting a little tired because we may have been at work all day or we've been doing things all day. And so this is not necessarily the time of day that I might
to
come in here because this is a
What might
lot.
you do?
But what I might be able to do is sit out on the porch and do something out on the porch, maybe with some music, because I know you also tend to play music sometimes.
Yes, we do.
Because when I was in and you were quote unquote open and we weren't doing a program, you had some music on.
Yeah.
And so sitting and rocking and looking at a couple of things while we're waiting for food or while we're trying to do something. If someone's feeling mean, I've got to figure out, do they want to move? Do they need big movement like rocking or doing something like walking? Or are they tired and they need something that's more of a soothing, quieter kind of thing? And Mary had mentioned something about textures. And so this might be a time to bring out something that has some softness and texture to it. So it might be a time where if there were quilts or there were squares or there were, check this
we
out.
have strange things.
Oh,
that can keep
wow.
hands busy.
So look at this. So now all of a sudden we have a baseball. See, now we're back to our baseball theme. Or we have a bird. And we have these things which are all textural. And so if the person is not really interested in looking, but they may be more interested in this, or she says, I don't know why we're here. You're not sure why we're here. Well, I thought you might like to look around. I don't want to. Okay, I hear you. Well, let's head on out. Because what I found out is in this moment, this isn't a good matchup. I tried a couple things and now I'm going to say, you know what? We're going to try this another time of day, of situation, because I don't want to give all this up just because I picked a time of day that might not have been a good matchup.
Why do you guys think art is important for folks, especially if they're living with dementia?
Oh,
Why not
wow.
just let it go?
Oh, go ahead, Mary. You give yours and I'll give mine.
Art is a way that people connect and communicate. Artists communicate with other people with the art that they do, but art is also a way that you can communicate with yourself, both in producing art and also in looking at art the other people have produced.
I mean, so what's really cool is if I do something, let's say I do a picture like this. Now, this picture, it could have come from a lot of different spaces and places, but if I do something like this and someone else goes, I love that. That is beautiful. Those blues, the black, the white, the gray, that's amazing. You want to tell me you don't feel something that goes like, you like it? And it's like, yeah, I love that. That black frame, that picture, phenomenal. And all of a sudden, we have a way to connect. Now, I'm authentically enjoying your artwork. And so you get a chance to feel, I did something somebody liked. And in the world of dementia, sometimes the things I do, nobody seems to like. So all of a sudden, there's a way I can feel special. Or here, it could bring up a memory of hummingbirds, of my grandma, of summers at the lake, of putting out a feeder, of things, butterflies. I mean, so the opportunities to take people to different places and times and situations, there's very little else in the world that could do that like art can. And so the remarkable opportunities we have when we look beyond where we are to where people can go with a picture, with a object, and all of a sudden, I'm at the coast of North Carolina. But I'm not. I'm right here in Hillsborough. I haven't left home at all. Or, I look at these various postcards, which are photographs, but now, oh my gosh, look at this. I remember my dad and we have a conversation that can start up. So for me, art is also how we can take something that seems like almost nothing and turn it into something that people can go, aw, butterfly, kangaroo, goose, fish, turtle.
Wow.
Cha-ching. And 3 branches and some string. So how expensive was that to do?
And
how
reused and repurposed.
So the idea of recognizing possibilities instead of just what's not possible. And frankly, that's what dementia is all about. Quit focusing on what's not possible and start looking for what is. So we're going to head back to where we started all this because I know we're getting very close to time. And I want to be responsive. So Mary, I've got to say that you are an amazing hostess and you offer a remarkable program for people here. And I hope people out there who are like Mary get inspired to think, oh, well, maybe we could do a little bit of something. Because now, how did you start out? Were you an artist first or something else?
That was the last thing I was. I was an analyst for a technology research and advisory firm. I covered backroom bank, big bank backroom technology.
Oh, wow.
My husband and I retired, and we decided it was time for a new adventure and that we'd do something we'd never done before. Now, my husband, David, who's hiding
away because he doesn't want to be on camera. And he's not enthralled with TikTok, I've got a feeling.
No, he's not. But he's a photographer. And one of the frustrations he's had is it's very hard to get your work shown. So we decided, well, we'll open a gallery. We've never had any kind of retail experience. We've never run a gallery. We've never done websites or graphic design or what have you.
Wow.
So of course that's what we did. It's been
like a challenge, do you?
Yeah, I like a challenge. We both do. It's been a real learning curve. We're still pretty much at the bottom of that learning curve, but we're working on it.
I think you're doing some amazing things. And what they took is a very old building in Hillsborough. Yeah?
This house, I think, dates to somewhere around 1940.
1940. So for, downtown Hillsborough, many of the buildings in Hillsborough are either older or younger by a lot. So 1940s was a period when Hillsborough was doing a lot of mill work. There were mills that were very active on the Eno River, which we're almost right beside.
Yeah.
And so this would have probably been one of the mill type houses, supervisor house, because it was pretty high tech here.
It's what I was told. I have no idea if this is true. There are 2 front doors coming in, which is really weird. But I was told that the reason there are 2 front doors instead of 1 is that if someone was working night shift and sleeping, you would come in one door or the other not to wake someone up. I have no idea whether that's true, but it's a good story.
I mean, it makes sense because actually it's not a shotgun house. I've lived in one of those because they have 2 hallways all the way down from the front to the back, and all the rooms come off the side because it's 2 houses in one. But this one is a little different because you could stand in the front, shoot the shotgun, and go out the back door. This one is not that way, but what it does have is this amazing ability to provide all these different spaces. Yeah. And you've got a gallery that just does all kinds of things for this community. And that's exciting.
So we're in Hillsborough, and what's the mission for what we're trying to do and what Mary's already doing so much for?
Well, Mary has already got an inclusive gallery here that is including people with different diverse perspectives, points of view, art styles, medium, and really inviting people into this space. We're working to create a dementia competent community that embraces people with different abilities, being neurodiverse, invites them in and figures out how to support one another so that we all can live here and do well here and thrive here because we believe it's possible. And so Mary invited us in for an evening on TikTok where we could talk about the use of art and art gallery, art options. So Mary, your mission in the world is
our mission in the world is basically to provide a space where local artists can connect with the art viewing population, and we try to be inclusive there. We have some of the artists here are established artists. Many of the artists here some people use the term emerging, but I don't like that. It sounds like someone's coming out of a
cocoon.
Or something. But people that may not have shown before or have had limited exposure to their work. So that's one side of creating opportunity. The other side of what we're trying to do is to have a gallery where everyone feels welcome to come in, regardless of whether you have an art budget or not, regardless of whether you're young, we enjoy children coming into the gallery. We always have art packets they can take home. Pre-pandemic, we had a kids' art corner where people would go to the library and then come over here and do things. So those are really the two primary things that connecting those
Absolutely.
together.
And so what we'll be doing with people from Soltis as we gain transportation options, we're working on it, is we will have a chance to come and spend some time and visit with Mary's group and make one of those private appointments so that we're here to enjoy it. So
we're in Hillsborough, North Carolina, so tell everybody
we're on Churton Street. Well, right off Churton Street.
We're half a block off Churton Street on Margaret Lane, right next to the public library, which is very close to the parking deck. So we're
absolutely,
really
which is super close to the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
And right by Weaver Street. And, wait, one last thing. It's very close to the building that now has the Daniel Boone ice rink sign on it.
Volume.
Ta-da! Yeah. There you go, the old Daniel Boone ice rink, which the one behind the camera, me in front of the camera, went skating on. Many times, back before it moved to the Sportsplex, which is next to where we are at Soltis Place.
Yeah.
So connections. So thank you everyone for joining us, being here at Margaret Lane Gallery, and thanks to Mary for the invitation to come.
Thank you for coming and being at the gallery. We really appreciate it, and we hope other people come as well.
We hope so as well. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening, and we'll be back again live in 2 weeks.
Hi, I'm Tifa Snow, and you just found our YouTube channel and watched one of our videos. I'm the owner and founder of Positive Approach to Care. Thanks for watching, and if you liked, if you have a comment about, or you would, please share it with people you know. Oh, and if you haven't yet done it, consider subscribing. We'll let you know when the next new video comes out. And you might want to visit our website, www.tifasnow.com, where you'll find other resources as well. See you there.